Hi, my name is Ali Hagju. I want to tell you a little bit about our video over IP Generation 2 product called FHD264. So FHD264 has senders or encoders that take your HDMI video and encode them and put them on your LAN. The requirement for LAN is pretty easy. It's just a 1 gig network switch that supports IGMP. Let's take a look at one of the encoders or the senders. This is an example of it. The first thing that you notice is that there's a 2-line LCD on the front panel, which comes in very handy when you're going to configure this thing for the first time. As you know, the first thing you got to do, got to make sure every box has a unique IP address. Well, the IP address is displayed on the front panel and you can set it to whatever you want. You can also give each box a name, up to 32 characters long, that goes into each device. Each device also has a web page inside of it that you can access, that you can do advanced parameters, for example, the bit rate and scaling and things of that nature. As far as what you get on the connectivity, there's an HDMI input and an HDMI output, as you can see right here. So you preserve your HDMI for a local monitor. We do extract the audio in analog format because in our Pro AV, analog is still very popular. You also have IR output for controlling your video source. If it's a signage player or set-top box, you can control it from whichever decoder remotely you're watching that video. The RS-232 port on here is extended amongst the video group, but you can also take over each RS-232 port, serial over IP. There's a port in here that you can connect to and you basically take over that port. What's that good for? You can, for example, talk to a matrix switcher, have it switch inputs. You can talk to projectors, have the turn on and off, change volume up and down, and things of that nature. The sender is also available in a single gang wall plate, which makes it pretty convenient. Both senders and receivers are PoE powered, so if your network switch can provide PoE power, you don't need to hook up power supply to these things. However, they all ship with a power supply, with a locking connector, in case your switch does not support that. Let's take a quick look at the receiver. The receiver front panel is very similar to the sender in that it has that character LCD for setup, and you can check the names, you can see what multicast group you're getting your video from. You can switch amongst the different senders. You can have up to 64 senders on your network using these buttons, or using telnet commands, or going to the web page in here and doing it. But the receivers also come with a little IR remote that simply allows you to dial in another multicast group. You can just go up, down, or just put in the number for the channel that you want to get on the receiver. When you switch the receiver from one transmitter to another transmitter, sometimes it's good to get a feedback that you're on the input that you think you want to be. Therefore, the receiver has the ability to overlay on-screen display that tells you, with the names that you've assigned, which source is coming to the display. We're going to take a look at that on this screen. When you switch a decoder to a new encoder, if you want, it can pop up a little on-screen display that tells you what group, multicast group ID you've switched to. This channel 1 here is what you've defined. This could be up to 32 characters. So that's a good way for you to verify that you're on the correct input. But you also can see what the receiver ID is. This could be a room number, this could be like lobby TV or whatever you want to call it. The IP addresses are also shown of the sender and receiver, which is very good for troubleshooting. Another advanced feature that we have in ours is, besides the channel that you want to watch, you can specify a backup channel in each receiver. If the video disappears, for example, if the source set-top box turned off for whatever reason, you're not getting video, your signage player turned off. Nobody wants to have a black screen. It knows the video went away and it switches to your backup source, and it keeps an eye on the original one. When it comes back, it'll switch back to it. Let's go back and take a look at how you can manage a whole bunch of senders, because typically you have a whole bunch of video sources in a rack, so you have to have a lot of those boxes, and we have a convenient rack adapter to house up to 12 of them conveniently in a rack. This is an example of the rack bezel that you can get. It's pretty inexpensive, and you can mount up to 12 transmitters in there. The transmitter is also available as a single gag wall plate, and since they're all PoE powered, it's easy to go. Please refer to our web page for this product, because there are a lot more advanced features that you can learn there. Thank you